Hello, and welcome to episode one of Homeopathy Simplified, a podcast. And this is a picture of me, Jonathan Damonte. I'm a homeopath and Bowen therapist, and this is my granddaughter, who's 6 weeks old while I record this. And very happy times for myself and the family. So I first experienced homeopathy through my father in the 1960s. His name was John Damonte. And he was one of the key teachers of homeopathy behind the resurgence of homeopathy in Europe at that time in the 60s and 70s. And I was really fortunate to study homeopathy through his students, and I feel a strong connection to him and his career. And it's interesting, as in homeopathy, it's very often generational that you see fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, granddaughters practicing homeopathy. Maybe it's in our genes. But anyway, I also became a Bowen therapist, which is a physical therapy that's very useful for treating pain. And I actually focused on treating chronic pain and disease in my practice. I still do. So after 27 years of practice, I've come full circle, and I want to share my knowledge. And I've made a purpose of teaching this course and touching on the subjects I want to cover in the course with these podcasts. And this is really the course I wish I had in the very beginning of my career. You know, this course is created to make the complex simple and shine a path through a forest of ideas and misconceptions about homeopathy. And I'm going to talk about one of those for this first episode. So episode 1 is going to cover the problem with homeopathy. So let's define what a problem is according to the dictionary. It describes it as a matter or situation regarded as unwelcome or harmful and needing to be dealt with and overcome. As well, it's an inquiry starting from given conditions to investigate or demonstrate a fact, result, or law. So both the descriptions define much of what we do in homeopathy. We take the problem of the disease and we overcome it. We take an inquiry as to how to do that, and we investigate what are the best steps to do so. So, further defining the problem with homeopathy. You know, the common approach when beginning to use homeopathy is to look for a medicine based upon the disease name. So whether it's a flu, a back strain, asthma, or shingles, choosing a remedy on its clinical use is not the most reliable method. So this problem, where homeopathy is chosen via a disease name, is a fundamental one that you should be aware of when using homeopathy for yourself or for another person. Know that if your choices of remedies are based upon the disease name, the remedy will have a very low possibility of success. I'm going to give an example to explain why and how I can make that statement. So by using a story as an example, I've called this a family flu story. So a family of 5 were recently hit by the winter 2024 flu. For many, this flu settled into the chest with a nasty and persistent cough. The flu of 2024 spread widely in the general population, with many reaching the point of walking pneumonia. So it's been a very difficult flu for many. The flu was very characteristic to having a long-lasting cough. So in this family story, each member caught it, and each member's own response to it varied. For example, 2 of the kids and the father fared really well and recovered as if from a normal flu in 2 to 3 days, with minor symptoms, but both the youngest and the mother had long-lasting illness. The youngest also had the very bad cough, which the mother later got as well. So if you were to go to the internet, and I did this exercise, and type in a search on Google for flu with cough, homeopathic remedies, you might find this list. And it came up with a remedy list of 8 remedies: Drosera, Ferrum phosphoricum, Hepar sulphuricum, Ipecac, Kali sulphuricum, Nux vomica, Spongia tosta, and sulfur. These are all commonly used homeopathic remedies, not necessarily, in my mind, flu remedies, all of them, but perhaps. I actually only used one of these remedies in treating the family. And this list is, really quite random, and though they might help, it's going to be with little confidence that you could choose between them, unless you understood the nuances for making a choice between each. And as I said, I did use one of the remedies on the list. But back to the story. The youngest, aged 3, had struggled already for 3 weeks with this cough when his mother called to consult me. I gave a remedy, and after a couple of doses of it, his symptoms cleared very easily. On the second follow-up call, the mother, who'd had very low level of flu symptoms, now had it full on. Really bad. Very weak. She'd lost her voice, and she had this terrible cough and all the other accompanying flu symptoms. She was really concerned that it would last as long as her toddlers had, and she asked, should I take the same remedy? And I replied, no, we should check if it's the correct one first. So here are lists of some of the symptoms each had. The youngest is 3 years old and had the cough. And when they coughed, they would retch as if to vomit. The cough was worse in the open air, and the cough was much worse at night. The mother, on the other hand, had a dry cough. And when she coughed, it would go into spasms that were unstoppable. The cough was better in the morning, and then it would produce mucus, and she'd be able to get that out of her chest. Her cough was better for moving around, and it was better for hot drinks. So just glancing at these characteristics of their cough symptoms, we can see that though it's the same virus causing their chest infection and their cough, the unique symptoms are what will define the remedy choices. So in the mother's case, a different remedy was given than the toddler's, and after 3 doses over 4 days, she improved and recovered really, really well. So using homeopathy effectively, easily, with confidence, and getting immediate results is just such a pleasure. Now, the story goes on, as the grandmother called shortly after, as she too had caught the same infection. And here are some of her symptoms. And again, you can see how different the characteristics of the cough are. So for the grandmother, she had a dry cough. Her cough was better for cold drinks. Her throat was affected too, and it was worse when she swallowed. She had pain when she swallowed. The cough was better for open air, and she also had this sense of sadness that had just preceded the cough or the flu, and she'd had a conflict in a group she was a part of with one of the members, and it made her feel really blue. So in this instance, I gave, again, a different remedy. And again, same cough, but a third and different remedy, even for members of the same family. So for those who really want to know the remedies, I'll tell you because, it's sometimes interesting, but it's not important. It doesn't matter. And perhaps there are many remedies that might have helped. However, being precise with homeopathy, you get the best results. So I gave the toddler silica. It was a 200 CH, and the toddler got 2 doses. Nux vomica for the mother, and I think she got 3 doses. It was also a 200 C. And the grandmother got phosphorus, and she only had 1 dose to treat her symptoms. So, again, the remedies are not important. What's important is that I used a methodology that made choosing the remedies fast and easy and effective. So just to sum up a little bit about this story, in homeopathy, a disease is not a symptom. A symptom is the way the disease is expressed by the sick person. So the message of this family flu is that each person's illness was the same, but to treat each person effectively, we need to define the symptoms of each person. The symptoms were used based on their expression of the disease, which was the cough, in each person. So again, it wasn't primarily flu and cough that led to the choice of the remedies. So remedies that work best in homeopathy are those chosen on the characteristics of the sick person in their reaction to the disease. The traditional and common clinical use of a homeopathic remedy is just part of its confirmation. So my goal is to educate people that if they're using remedies with random success and they're choosing those remedies based on the disease, that there is a better way. And over the course of this podcast and video series, I'm going to teach a little bit of that in order that you understand that there is a better way and it makes your life so much easier. So to learn how to use those remedies that would be reliable and treat the illness easily, you need to determine what is the simple and true information. So in the next episode, I'll discuss what is a reliable remedy, or what is a reliable symptom that leads to a reliable remedy. So if you enjoyed the podcast or video, make sure you get notified and subscribe. And, I've enjoyed putting it together. I hope you give me some feedback, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.